anybody, any human would ever do.
Yeah, I don't know who said that to you, but thank God you have a heart.
Yeah, I have a heart such that after watching this, I couldn't stop crying for about 3 hours. It was so horrific. And I couldn't sleep for almost a week. It's like you said, those who know can't sleep. I still don't sleep well sometimes due to this. And so I'll go into this, but I want people to know if you have children in the room, you might think about seriously taking them out for this part. Use your own discretion. If you don't think you can listen to this, don't. I will go into this in graphic detail. It's very disturbing what I saw. There's 2 different frazzled rip videos that I saw, both simultaneously, back to back. And this is what was on Wiener Weinstein's. I think it was a Wiener. He is one. I mean, that's all he is. He's just a male member that has no compassion or heart or morality at all. It's just a wiener. And so it was on his laptop, and the policemen that saw it were throwing up and retching and crying, and a lot of them just couldn't live with it. They actually saw way more than I saw. Mine was bad enough, and a lot of them, I don't know if they actually committed suicide or they were suicided, but a lot of the police that saw this aren't alive anymore, a good majority of them.
Yeah.
That being said, so we'll go into it. But the purpose of this is twofold: to bring up a demonic through the blood of the child. It's a witchcraft. The child's in the pentagram circle symbol thing. They're doing the incantation, and then they start torturing this young person that is, in one case, chained to a tree, and in the other case, to a bed. And the one with the bed had a doctor in attendance. The one with the tree, which was a 10-year-old girl chained to a tree, was out in a forest area. It looked like an area I'm somewhat familiar. It looked like an area I know on the East Coast somewhere, in the big forest like you see in the Blair Witch Project, with those endless forests that go, if you don't have a compass and know how to orienteer, you get lost as heck. And so it's some big forested area. It's not trees like on the West Coast. It's more eastern, where you see more deciduous trees and less pine. And so she's chained to a small tree, this 10-year-old girl, and Uma Abedin and Hillary Rodham Clinton take this girl, and they start doing the fire and the symbol, and they start cutting her up. And in the process of this, they cut her face on both of them. The one with the bed, the doctor does it, but they do it really crudely. The doctor does it surgically. But they cut her face off, and then Hillary wears it, dancing around the girl, laughing and giggling, and they're all laughing, and they take the blood and cover themselves. They're naked, and they cover themselves in the blood. Excuse me, it's getting me a little woozy. And they laugh and dance around her, and she's screaming, "Why are you doing this to me?" And finally she's just begging for them, "Please just kill me." And then once they had the child sufficiently terrorized, which they did, in this case this child had a lot of fortitude, so to get her, that wasn't enough. To get her really terrified, they do some boo-boo in Japanese martial arts. Harikiri is the term they used in World War II. They cut her with a Z across her stomach and pulled out her intestines around their necks. And then, excuse me, I gotta take a drink of water.
I mean, it's just,
it's nauseating. I'm sorry. They then, once she was sufficiently terrified and still alive, they reach up with, looks like some kind of forceps, kind of big, very slender at the end, into the nose, and up into jamming it up into the brain. They knew how to do this, so they didn't kill the girl. They pulled her pineal out through her nose. And they each one ate half of it. I think Hillary did it and offered it to Uma, and she bit half of it, and the walnut, as they call it. And Hillary ate the other part, and then the blood's coming out the nose, so they're kind of sucking on her nose.
Oh, God.
And drinking blood. Then they take and cut the artery on the neck. I think it was the carotid artery. Not carotid, the jugular vein rather, excuse me. Wrong area of the body there. I'm getting woozy, I can't think right. They cut the jugular vein, the girl bleeds out, and they capture the blood and, drink a lot of that adrenochrome-laced blood and get really super high. And that's when you can see the demonic come up, this horrendously dark thing, come up and do the bidding they do that they learned from the Book of Solomon to do their bidding. And the girl dies as they capture all her blood and stuff. So that was the one, very similar to what they did in the room with the doctor and the bed. It's pretty much the same thing, but not as horrific as the one with the girl in the tree. And I believe the one on the bed, that girl was 8. This girl was 10. So that's pretty much the basics of it. As I said, of course, Hillary's not human in the first place, mostly.
Right.
Her daughter's even less human. Chelsea's even less. She's way more reptilian than Hillary is, just slightly.
Really?
Yeah. Chelsea's much more pure bloodline than Hillary. The actual name is not Clinton. They always change the name when they get into the public eye. It's by B-Y-E in the families, the 13 families. It's the By family.
So I thought Hillary might be a Rockefeller, or no?
No, the Rockefeller and Carnegie's are cousin underneath Rothschild, which is all lower chamber. The upper chamber, which is the base Oregon title, means the one who holds the money. The Rothschilds were only worth about 400 trillion, where the Payshores are 600 quad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the money they've stolen from humanity for thousands of years.
Knowing that they own that mansion and that they came over here, and I guess is this normal? Is this typical of their rituals, what you just described?
Yeah, same thing they do every year at Bohemian Grove, where they go in there and they have a child on an altar, like you see in the Mayan or the Aztec, and they'll have another child forced to kill that child, and then do pretty much what I just described similarly. And then they'll have a blood orgy, everybody there. It's mostly one sex on one sex, in other words, homosexual.
Yeah.
They prefer homosexual over sexual. Nixon never went back because he got tired of what he called buggery. He couldn't stand it. It was too much even for him.
Yeah, he made a comment about that. He's caught making a comment on tape. Something like that was the gayest thing or the faggiest thing I'd ever seen, or something like that.
Yeah, so it's the faggiest thing. He couldn't stand all the buggery and he didn't ever want to come back. But they have a blood orgy where it's mostly homosexual stuff going on. But it's really nothing about LGBT. It's about the transgender and all that's not about that. It's about altering somebody so you create a schism in their, if they have a solar schism in their beingness, so that a demonic can come in and take them.
Just so you know, and before you call or ask in the comments, no, the gentleman speaking is not my NYPD One Police Plaza source. So that means that there are at least 2 eyewitnesses to the